and welcome to this week's episode of the Dex, weekly trivia and battle strategy about your favorite Pokemon. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm Aroma Lady Alex. Hey Kelz, what if I told you that this week, instead of just doing a Pokemon, we're going to be doing a fearsome god who devours souls and destroys worlds?
I would say, don't you think it's a little early for us to be doing Arceus?
Arceus? Oh no.
Who is that? Are we not doing Arceus?
No, this week we're doing Vileplume, and joining us live via satellite is a special guest who has a very unique sort of experience on the subject. Ladies and gentlemen, ProJared.
Hi everybody, it's NUPTUP! Vileplume. It's Vileplume.
Vileplume is one of two final forms of the Gen 1 Pokemon Oddish's evolutionary line, the other one being Blossom.
Blossom comes from exposing Gloom to a sunstone, but for Vileplume, it's all about that sweet, sweet leaf stone. It makes them all meaty and nasty and poisonous.
Actually, that's not very far off. You see, Vileplume is based pretty directly off of the Rafflesia arnoldii, a parasitic plant which grows in southeastern Asiatic rainforests and is known to produce the world's largest flower and smell like rotting flesh.
Yeah, and these flowers really are freaking huge. They can measure up to 100 centimeters across and weigh 22 pounds. That's more than my actual real dog Wallace weighs. And it's a flower, and it's bigger than my dog. My dog. So cute.
It also comes in two different genders and is often referred to as the corpse flower or the meat flower because of how bad it smells. Try and get that out of your nightmares.
Huh, Vileplume is based off a parasite. What if Oddish is the healthy young plant, and then Gloom is the plant getting infected, and then Vileplume is the blooming parasite? That's so crazy to think about! Isn't that cool?
Certainly a plausible theory. Vileplume's name is a mix of the words vile, meaning sick or nasty, and plume, which is a reference to either its giant petals or the clouds of nasty pollen it exudes.
In Japanese, his name is Rafflesia, which is basically like saying, hey, I'm based off of a Rafflesia. Boring.
Its Pokedex entries explain that Vileplume sometimes has a problem moving its giant flower head, but when it does, enough poison comes out that it can paralyze its prey and then devour it whole. Jeez, these Pokedex entries get dark sometimes.
Yeah, they do. Hey, speaking of devouring its prey whole, how about we let Jared and his NUPTUP be the stars of our newest and ridiculous segment?
Sounds good to me.
I call it the Dex Presents Story Time.
A little while ago, I was doing a Nuzlocke Challenge playthrough of Pokemon Fire Red over on my channel. Many Pokemon came and went, but early on I found one little friend who ended up staying with me to the end. And that was a little oddish named NUPTUP. Even at what many people argued to be too low a level, NUPTUP was able to single-handedly take down Misty, and then as a Gloom, she was invaluable against Lieutenant Surge. Early on, moves like Sleep Powder helped carry her whole team, and she was able to hold on by using moves like Absorb and Mega Drain. When she finally became a Vileplume, she was able to overcome her low speed with her Chlorophyll ability, which doubles her speed in sunlight. I would never imagine that a Vileplume was able to outspeed an Alakazam, but NUPTUP did, and Sunny Day was her tool. She solar beamed her way into her heart and Giga Drained me to victory, leaving a wake of devastation so severe, NUPTUP would then immortally be known as NUPTUP, the consumer of souls and Pokemon League champion.
You know, it only goes to show, victory is not just your own doing.
Yeah, the bond between you and your Pokemon is marvelous, no matter who they are.
And that's our story. Good night, everybody.
That will always be one of my favorite Pokemon stories. Who had ever thought that I owe everything to a Vileplume?
Yeah, man. People and Pokemon. People and Pokemon.
Right. Anyway, who's ready for some Gen 5 battle strategy?
Oh, me!
Me too! Pokemon!
Vileplume has the unfortunate distinction of being outclassed by Venusaur in pretty much every way a grass poison type can, but because of her heavy bulk, she's carved out a pretty respectable spot for herself in the RU tier.
Start with the bold one and give it Black Sludge to hold. Black Sludge heals like leftovers for poison types, but causes damage to all other types.
EV train your Vileplume in hit points and defense, and make sure it has the Dreamworld ability of Effect Spore, which has a 30% chance of paralyzing, poisoning, or sleeping your opponent whenever they make physical contact.
From there, give it Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain to attack with. Both have stab, and Giga Drain will heal you a little bit every time you use it.
In the other two slots, give it Moonlight for even better recovery and Aromatherapy to keep your team clean of status effects.
Of course, that's not the only way to train a Vileplume, so, as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Sometimes it's more of a risk than a reward to use Black Sludge. Leftovers is a better option if you're afraid of your opponent tricking it onto another member of your team.
Vileplume can also work as a special sweeper. In that case, put it on a sunny day team and make sure it has the chlorophyll ability. Just like NUPTUP.
You know what's ironic? Rattlesia are parasites, so they actually don't even have chlorophyll in real life. Take that, science.
You're just doing trivia now?
Yeah, why?
And that's it! Vileplume, the destroyer of worlds! I can't believe how much it looks like that real plant.
Right? And special thanks to our guest ProJared, who was kind enough to join us via satellite.
Hey, by the way, Jared, where are you joining us from anyway?
Me? Oh, I live in Texas. But what's more interesting is that it says here that you guys live in...
Huh? What were you saying?
What? I don't remember. Anyway though, hey, be sure to subscribe and check out ProJared's channel right here. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm Aroma Lady Alex. Tune in next week for another episode of...
The Dex? The Dex? The Dex. The Dex? The Dex. Use whichever one you'd like.